So, you want to launch a subscription box and don't know where to start? Girl, you are in the right place. I'm Julie Ball, a subscription box coach, and your host here at Subscription Box Basics, a podcast for new and aspiring subscription box entrepreneurs that want to avoid overwhelm. So grab a coffee, some pen and paper, and let's have some fun. Hey everybody, welcome back to Subscription Box Basics. I'm your host, Julie Ball, and I am joined today by a special guest. She is my box bestie, the one and only Jessica Principe from All Girl Shave Club. Hey, Jess.
Hey, Julie. Thanks so much for having me again.
Yes, I'm excited. And this time we are talking about what to do with excess inventory. And I'm so excited to dive into this because you and I did a workshop on this last year, and we're going to get into that later. But quick, if someone is just meeting you for the first time, let's give them the quick download of who you are and what you do.
Yeah. So All Girl Shave Club is my brand, and it is a shaving subscription service and online boutique. I started it about 4.5 years ago, back in 2016, and it's just been such a fun journey serving women all over the US and Canada.
Love it. And guys, if you want to hear Jessica's launch story and hear more about behind the scenes at All Girl Shave Club, head on back over to episode 31, where we did a deep dive on all things All Girl Shave Club. It's funny too, because we tell our story about how you and I met. So it was back in 2016 at Christy Wright's Business Boutique, and you and I were both brand new to this business, like yes. Fresh. We were just doing the Google search every single day, trying to find what to do next and how to run our business. And it was so nice to meet you at that same stage at that moment in time, because I feel like you and I have grown very parallel together in our business. And it's just been so nice to have that person to ask questions to. So everybody needs a box bestie. Let's just put it out there.
I totally agree, Julie. It was totally a bright spot in starting the business, was knowing that I had that partner, that person that I could just talk to and like share ideas and vent to and support. You know, it was just really, really important. And I think everybody definitely needs to find their person.
Yay. I'm glad you're mine, Jess.
I'm glad you're mine.
Okay. We'll get over the gush fest and let's get into the meat of this. So last year, it was probably right around this time of the year when COVID was hitting, things were closing down. A lot of people were panicking about their business. There were so many things as a subscription box business owner that I experienced. And Jess, I feel like you probably did too. And so many of our listeners might have experienced, maybe there were delays in receiving your products. Maybe you saw a slump in your sales. There were so many things because people were fearful and didn't know what the future held.
Yeah. And also, I think you just nailed it on the head, is we were uncertain. We didn't know what was going to happen. Were subscription boxes going to stay stable during this time, or were we going to take a big hit? So I think that was a big issue for me personally, was just the mindset around what's going to happen and how am I going to be able to pivot?
Right. And because subscription boxes have that renewing, that recurring revenue, and you have data, like you know what your churn is and what your renewal rates are, usually a subscription box business feels stable and projections feel like doable. Whereas during this time last year in 2020, it was just like, okay, what is happening? We didn't know what to expect. And so we had a lot of conversations with each other, and I had a lot of conversations with boot campers and other colleagues about, okay, what can we do to keep that cash flow going, to keep buzz around our business? Turns out that subscription boxes were really strong. They grew during last year. And it was because people needed to get things sent to their home instead of going to the store to buy them. So, you know, in hindsight, we can look back and be like, yay, it worked out. But at the same time, I remember having this conversation with you where I was like, what can we do right now to help people move their cash flow? And so you and I decided to land on this workshop that we did. And we'll give you guys details of the workshop, and in the show notes, we'll have links to it because you can catch the replay. All of the information is still highly relevant right now. But what we decided to do was brainstorm an ideas of 20 things to do with excess inventory to help you generate revenue and create buzz for your brand. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. We handpicked 2 of our favorite each. So we're going to go through 4 tactics today of what to do with that excess inventory, because I guess let's take a step back, Jess. Like, what's the problem with excess inventory?
Yeah, it's a huge problem, especially as you're growing and you have a lot of product kind of sitting on your shelves. And we don't intend to have excess inventory. That's not really like our plan, but it does happen and it's part of the game. And so what happens is when you have all this inventory sitting on your shelves, that's your cash. That's your cash sitting right there. It's kind of a bottleneck to cash flow, and it can really make it hard to run and grow your business when that cash is tied up on the shelves.
It's so true. And I don't know about you, but it would give me so much anxiety just thinking
Yeah.
about what am I going to do with all this stuff? And I've learned a lot
Yeah.
since the beginning where I would panic when I had 10 extra books or, 25 extra things. Now, it's not unusual for us to have excess of 100 or 200 things. And that's okay because we can get really, really creative with what to do with that excess inventory. And I would encourage you, if you're listening to this, try to shift your mindset and think of it as an opportunity instead of a problem. And
Mm.
that simple mindset shift will help you think of your own ideas of like, what can I do with this inventory to turn it back into revenue, whether that means just getting your money back or
Mhm.
making money on it, or acquiring new customers using it. And there's just so many ways. So should we just jump right into it, Jess?
I love it. I feel like you've introed us into the perfect segue into this. Yes, I love it.
Okay, why don't you start with your first? And I think this one's probably your favorite because you told me which one you picked. So have at it.
Okay, so I picked email marketing, and there are a whole bunch of different ways that you can leverage email marketing to liquidate your excess inventory. But the way that I want to talk about today is by doing what I call spotlight campaigns. So, a spotlight campaign is really just highlighting one specific product in your email campaign. And you can get really creative about the segment that you're sending this email to. So, for this instance, let's pick that you're sending this to someone who hasn't ever subscribed to your box. So they're brand new to you. This is a great way to not only get a product in their hands so they can have a little bit of an experience of what it's like to be a subscriber with your box, but it's also a great way to recoup some of those costs and to add a little bit of profit margin to your business. So what I do when I'm sending out a spotlight campaign is I pick that one product. And again, the main benefit, the main purpose of this email is to get them to the site to purchase that product. So you're only focusing on the benefits of the product. You're not focusing on necessarily all the features of the product, but you really want to tie it back to that person. Why would they want to have it? What will it do to help them or to enhance their life? What are the benefits? So, for example, with our razors, there are definitely many features that I could list out, that they're made with a specific type of material or that they're long lasting or like all of these things. But that's not really what I'm trying to do in the spotlight campaign. I want to show the benefit to the customer. So I might say something like, meet your new favorite razor. It's going to give you the smoothest shave without the razor burn. So we're
Which is
talking
totally
about.
true.
Thank you.
I know from personal use.
So we're talking about the actual benefit, right? So the thing that's going to get them to be like, oh, I really need this in my life, or pique that curiosity and get them to take that action to click over to your site and make the purchase. So that's really the goal of the spotlight campaigns. And also, one other thing I just wanted to touch on is the subject line. So we want to get the email in front of them, right? But we need them to open the email. And so getting creative with those subject lines, I find personally, and this is something that we'll have to test, of course, but for our business, when we use the first name tag, we see our open rates just skyrocket. So I
No way.
always like to, yeah, definitely like try creative ways to add that first name in that subject line.
Yeah, and most email service providers are going to allow you to do A/B testing, or if you can't do that or aren't comfortable with that, you can simply go back to that email, say, I don't even know what the standard would be. Would it be like a day later, and resend to those who didn't open? And you can change the subject line when you resend it.
Yes, definitely. I think that's a great idea too, just to see what happens and to
Yeah.
do your own little tests. Yeah.
That's right. So at Sparkle Hustle Grow, we use Flowdesk, which is kind of a newer email marketing software. We didn't need anything super robust. We wanted something that was affordable, lean, and that it was easy to create beautiful emails, because for our audience, they are attracted to shiny, beautiful, great design, that type of thing. So that's why we chose Flowdesk. Will you share the email marketing service provider you use at All Girl Shave Club?
Yes, I use Klaviyo, and that is an email service provider that integrates really, really well with Shopify. So if you're on the Shopify platform, it has a beautiful native connection, and it can do a lot of really cool things. Like it can take actions based on user behavior. So if somebody is subscribed to a very specific product in your collection, or they purchase a product from your store, you can set up automations that will retarget them based on what they're already interested in.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we'll make sure to put those links in the show notes as well. So I think email marketing was a great one to kick us off with. Thank you for that. It
Yeah.
is definitely something that we use all the time at Sparkle Hustle Grow. We send on a regular basis. We send subscriber emails every Wednesday, and that lets people know what's going on in the past week, what trainings we've done, what Facebook Lives they may have missed. But we also do promote excess inventory in there as well, especially if it was a fan favorite and people are asking, can we get more of these? We'll drop that excess inventory, just a quick picture of it or a quick
Yes.
link right directly to it in the shop. And then we also send 1 to 2 emails to our leads list. We call our insider scoop. Those are people who've actively opted in, but maybe haven't committed to the subscription yet. So we try to send them things of value all the time. And that might be getting your hands on a product that you maybe didn't get because you're not a subscriber, but now we have excess in the shop.
Yes, I love that. And also like thinking about that unboxing experience too with just that one product. So maybe it is just, in my example, a scrub, like a leftover scrub. We could send that to our customer, or our new customer if they're not a subscriber, and include, maybe some marketing material about inviting them to join, or even like a QR code with a special video from you about the subscription. So there's lots of ways to leverage it and nurture them into a subscription.
That's super smart, because you start giving them a taste of what that surprise and delight is when
Yeah.
they get their unboxing, when they get their box for the first time. I love that idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a good segue into my next topic on how to get rid of some of that excess inventory. One of my favorite ones that we use all the time, very successfully, is to do bundles or surprise packs.
Yeah.
And that's simply taking some of that slow moving inventory and bundling it together, whether that is a mystery, you don't know what you're going to get. We do that all the time. We say, we have a limited amount of surprise packs. You are going to get one book that we haven't featured in the last 6 months, so that, a subscriber might feel compelled to buy it, but not get a duplicate book.
Right.
We'll say it'll have one book and it'll have up to 3 office supplies. And it's like, what are you going to get? You never know. And it really is a mix of things. And we just take excess inventory and bundle that together in the mystery pack. And I know you've done mystery bundles too. I think you did one around Halloween before, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. It was a spooktacular event.
Was it? It was spooktacular. That's so funny. So you can really do that surprise pack, even though they don't know what they're going to get, but you can theme it. Like you did for Halloween. We do it for oftentimes with giveaways. We will use a surprise pack as the prize, which means
so smart.
We're just using excess inventory. So another way that we use that kind of the bundling effect there is to bundle something that's more slow moving, maybe wasn't like the biggest hit with your subscribers, but bundle it with one of your best sellers, because that's going to drive the conversion. Someone's going to be like, oh, I want more of that. And cool, whatever it comes with is fine. And that's just
so smart.
Yeah. And it's just a way to kind of grow the value of what that bundle is, and, get some money back for maybe it's at cost. Maybe you just get recoup that money, or maybe you're able to build a little profit into a product that wasn't like the biggest hit.
Love that, Julie. I think that's such a good idea. And it goes back to kind of what we were just talking about too. It gives them a sample of what it's like to be a subscriber if they're not already.
Yeah, exactly. And so the last thing that we do with these bundles, or specifically surprise packs, and this is so easy to do and it's so well received. Trust me, you got to do this. Use this as a subscriber perk. For example, we'll say we have 50 surprise packs, and we're going to drop the link in our secret subscriber Facebook community on Friday at noon Eastern. The public will not have access to this. And you kind of build up that hype, and you don't make it a public link. You have it a hidden link that you only share with your subscribers. And maybe you email it out and then you drop it in your private Facebook group if you have one. And oh my gosh, it is crazy. It is just like buyer frenzy. We sell those things out so fast. And when you market it as a subscriber perk, it just makes that customer feel so much better that like I'm getting something special because I am a subscriber. And so it's just a great way. It's easy to execute. A lot of times, if I'm bundling them at home, I do have some excess inventory still at my home office. If I'm bundling them at home, I'll prep them in advance so that when they all get sold that day we drop the link, I just slap labels on them and send them out the door. It's such an easy process.
I love it. And what a fun benefit for subscribers. They're not expecting it. It's just like a fun little extra add-on. I love it.
Exactly. Okay, last thing I want to say about bundles is if you have a lot of one product, especially if it's something that's like consumable, someone that they're going to use it and run out of it, bundle them in like a 3-pack or a 5-pack or a 10-pack and sell more at once and get that product into their hands quickly. And I can see that happening with a lot of the stuff that you sell, Jess. Maybe it is that scrubber that you talked about, or maybe it is some of the shave butter, get a 3-pack of shave butter in 3 different flavors. Or
Definitely.
Scents. They're scents, not flavors.
I always call them flavors too, because they smell so delicious, but you're right. They're scents. Yes, I think that that's such a great idea. We definitely did that in the past too with excess inventory, and it works really well. It's like buy one for yourself and you get a free one for your friend.
Exactly. And that's really good around the holidays too. If you're looking for stocking stuffers, we did that a lot. We would call them team packs, but essentially it was just a bundle.
Yeah.
And we would sell like 3 boxes or 5 boxes and market it as though, you could get these for yourself, for your customers, your clients, your friends, colleagues, whatever. And we were just getting more inventory out the door and would do a small discount. The more that you would buy, the more that you would save.
Ooh, that is so smart. I love that idea.
And it works.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one of my favorite things is the bundle or surprise pack marketing technique to get rid of that excess inventory.
Okay, so my second tactic is to sell to other subscription box owners. There are lots of different buy-sell trade groups and things like that on Facebook that you can join where you can actually unload some of that inventory to other subscription box owners or other boutique owners. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a subscription box. But I particularly love this one because, like you said before, Julie, sometimes we do have 1 or 200 units of excess inventory. And because we're buying in such large quantities, we're able to buy usually at lower than wholesale rates. And so I love being able to pass on those savings to those smaller, newer, up and coming boxes where they can, get our inventory at a really low price. But there's just so many different ways you can connect. And then you build relationships within those groups with other boxes that, are a good fit for the products that you're buying for your box. And you can just start sending your inventory tracking spreadsheet to them directly and sharing the excess inventory that way.
We definitely use that tactic as well. We do that in our subscription box boot camp, where we have boot campers selling to other boot campers. It really is a good way, especially when you're brand new.
Yeah.
And sometimes new vendors have those minimums, those required minimums.
Right.
And required minimums are basically like if you want to order from us, you have to spend at least, for example, it might be $250 on your first order or $500. And I know from experience, like I wasn't spending that much on one product in my first month of business.
No way.
So you can really, especially if you're listening to this podcast, if you are, in the early stages of your box business, this is a great way for you to get your hands on really good inventory at cost or at wholesale quickly. Buying from other box owners.
Yeah, I love it. I think you're right on with that. It's just such a great way to be able to get products that you might not have been able to get on your own, or you would have to spend a lot more to get them. So, and you can buy them in the quantity that you need. You don't have to buy them in tons of excess just to be able to include them in your box.
Exactly. I 100% agree. And it's easy to execute too.
Yeah.
We have a copy and paste kind of format for when we sell in these groups. And it has the quantity, it has a little description, a title, cost, shipping information, and a minimum. Usually we ask a minimum of 5, just so
Hmm.
we're not sending, 1 here and 2 here, or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you create yourself a little template, put it in your computer notes, copy and paste it, add some pictures, good to go.
Yep, totally. I totally agree. That's exactly what we do too. And we've learned the hard way, from sending
Oh,
one-offs here and there and
me too.
what to include.
Me too. Yeah. And you can find groups like that just by searching right in Facebook for like subscription box, buy, sell, trade, BST, they call it. So yeah, it's easy to find those groups. Those groups are free to join as well.
Yeah, I love it. And also consider joining other groups within your niche. So if you're selling lifestyle products, you might want to consider joining like a women's boutique buy sell trade group where you
Good
can share
point.
your product there.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be just other subscription box business owners. There's a lot of people who have e-commerce stores that will either have excess or might buy from you.
Totally.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, the last tactic we're going to talk about today is something that we've done in the past called the secret subscriber sale. And this is just one
Ooh.
of those sweet spots that we found over the years that works really, really well for our specific audience. And I know that you can duplicate it for any box business and sell to your audience in this way. It's kind of like from what I was just talking about with the bundles and the surprise packs, where you can market it as a member perk. We're definitely taking that member perk to the next level with this secret subscriber sale. Essentially, you are going to have a full-blown marketing campaign, but you're only going to market it to your subscribers. It's a secret sale that will not be available to the public. And we've done it a couple of ways in the past. And I'm not even kidding. We've sold thousands of dollars of inventory within hours because we created
Amazing.
the hype for it so much, and we got people prepared. We got them ready to purchase at a specific time. And here's what we did. I'm going to tell you the 2 different ways that we do it. The first way is super easy. It's the more you buy, the more you save. And you give them a very specific time frame where if they spend, say, over $50, they're going to save 20%. If they spend over $100, they're going to save 30%. And those are just arbitrary numbers. You use what works for your business and your profit margins. But the more that you buy, the more that you save. But you give them a very specific time frame, and you give them very specific codes to use, and you tell them exactly what to do. For example, log in now, make sure your credit card is up to date, make sure that your shipping address is up to date. Though that week before that you have your actual launch, you're kind of dropping sneak peeks of what's to come, what products are available, and examples of, if you buy these 3 products, you're going to save this much. You know what I mean? You kind
Ooh.
of precede it, that it's almost like you're doing a launch campaign, and you
Hmm.
use the week before it to get them super, super hyped up about it via email, via posting in your Facebook group, doing Facebook lives in your group, whatever it takes to get them excited, especially during the last 24 hours countdown. Like, mark your calendars, set your alarm, tomorrow at noon, this savings opportunity drops. And it's a good time to add some of those bundles to your
Yes.
website and part of the secret sale. So like a 3-pack of notebooks, for example, and give it
Mm.
steep discount. So that's the one way you can do it, is with the more you buy, the more you save. But we've tested this. You can't say this is going to happen for a week. Like this, your savings opportunity is a week. No, you need to make it a very specific time frame, like 24 hours only or 48 hours
Mm.
only, that type of thing. So they have that sense of urgency, and that you can move things quickly. That sense of urgency, you have to stick to it though. Like, you can't keep that coupon code up for an extra couple of days, because then, you lose your credibility, or it's like, what was the purpose of, pushing them to buy within that time frame. So
Yes.
you definitely want to use that sense of urgency. The other thing that you can use is limited quantities, which you might only have 25 of those notepads left. And so we share that information. We share with them in advance. We have this discount for you, but there's limited quantities. There's only 25 of these. So if you want this, be prepared at noon tomorrow to put this into your cart. So it's like this feeding frenzy. It's so much fun. And we do it probably twice a year, usually sometime in like April or so, and then sometime around the Black Friday holiday shopping weekend.
I love it. And it
Usually
works. I've
it
seen
does.
your people just go bananas over it.
Exactly. And the one that they love the most is the second version of it, is where we create these specific bundles. We
Mm.
take things from past boxes and mix and match them up into different configurations than what they got in their monthly box.
Ooh,
And
yeah.
that is such a good way to get rid of some of that slow moving inventory, because again, we pair it up with the best sellers, the things that they want the most. We're going to kind of add 2 or 3 of the slow moving inventory in there just to get it out the door.
I love it.
And what we do differently with that one is we take pictures. Say we have 8 different bundles. We'll take pictures of those 8 different bundles. And in that week prior, when we're building that hype and educating our customers about what to do and how to be a part of this sale, we're dropping spoilers of pictures and pricing and quantities, but not the link yet. Those links are
Mm.
still hidden. And when noon comes and it's time to start the sale, that's when we drop all the links. And so it may sound a little bit complicated. We have an entire training for it where we have all the templates and we have all the like different social media templates you can use and trackers and stuff. We make it super easy. And I'll make sure that I include the link to that in the show notes as well, because if this sounds like something you want to do, it may sound a little bit overwhelming as I talk through it, but we got you. We got the training, we
Yes.
got the templates, we got everything for you.
It is easy. She has made it super, super easy to
Yes.
replicate.
And it's fun. I'm sure from your perspective, because you're in our Facebook group, just seeing the hyper activity.
Yes. People are so excited. It's almost like you give them the opportunity to really shop and figure out what they want before the links are available. So they know exactly, okay, at noon on Friday, I know I want this bundle and this bundle and this bundle, and I am going to race to get it in my cart. So it's super exciting to watch.
It's really fun as a business owner too, because if you get those Stripe or PayPal notifications, once you kind of like release the links to the world, like via email, we send them via email and we post them in the Facebook group at the same time. And we have to keep updating those too. As they're sold out, we'll mark them in the Facebook group sold out so that people can see how quickly the stuff is going. But as a business owner, it just feels so good to be able to move that much inventory so quickly.
So quickly.
It takes a load off of us, not only from a cash flow perspective, but also a space perspective. If you have this inventory in your own home or your garage or, in your living room, you know what it's like to get your space back. And then if you have a warehouse like we do, we pay for the space that we use. So the more product that we have sitting there, the more expensive it is for our storage fees.
Sure.
So it's just such a win-win situation.
Yes, excess inventory really does throw a lot of different wrenches into so many different things, not just cash. So it definitely is a good plan to think about, maybe even each quarter, if you can, how you're going to move your inventory that quarter and kind of make a game of it. Like, what kind of tactics can you employ and how can you get creative and double down on what's worked in the past?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk quickly about that workshop that we did last year. It's available for replay. You guys will put the link in the show notes, but it's subscriptionboxbootcamp.com/inventory-workshop. And we had so much fun. We go over 20 tactics, 20 things to do with excess inventory. And it's 12 of our favorite tactics to generate revenue and 8 of our favorite tactics to create buzz and build brand awareness that, so that you actually are doing something with that excess inventory.
Putting it to work for you, right? Rather than just having it sit there. Okay, so also in addition to the video training that Julie just mentioned, we also have included a PDF workbook, and it is full of everything that you're going to need. It's a printable workbook. It has over 30 pages filled with resources, templates, swipe files, checklists, just so many good things to really help you implement these tactics quickly and easily. So we also did a Q&A session with our existing students, our first group of students, where we got to kind of talk about all things subscription boxes, as well as some of the topics that we included in the training. So there's just a lot of extra goodness in there. We've included the Q&A replay right in the workshop as well.
Yeah, and it was really fun to go through this. The video training itself is only an hour. Like, we go through 20 tactics in an hour. And what's cool about it is you just go through the workbook and the training and pick which ones are the low-hanging fruit. Like, which ones can I implement right now? And you'll easily pay for the workshop itself, which is only $125. So just think about that. Like, I know when I buy a course, I'm like, how am I going to make my money back on it? Like, how is this going to help me grow my business? And it's such a no-brainer. When you look at these tactics, you implement like one or two of these in the first 48 hours that you get your training, you'll easily make your money back.
Absolutely. And like I said before, if you can just take some time out each quarter to really plan this out, you will definitely be generating money and also building awareness and buzz for your business. It's just really a win-win.
I agree. And so our intention with this little mini workshop was really just to help take the pressure off of you, help give you a game plan of what to do, and to wash your extra inventory worries away. Right, Jess?
Yes, definitely. Because it is going to be part of the territory. So it's important to learn how to make it work for you and not let it be a stumbling block for you as you grow your business.
Exactly. So again, if you head over to subscriptionboxbootcamp.com/inventory-workshop, you'll get all the details. You can sign up. You'll get lifetime access to all of the content. You'll get it almost immediately. And we've been asked before, is this just for subscription box business owners? Well, it was geared towards subscription box business owners because that's our sweet spot. That's what we do. But so many of these tactics, nearly all of them, could be implemented with just regular e-commerce shops too. So if you are in a position where you're listening because you think you want to start a subscription box business, you could still use this if you already have some sort of online boutique or e-commerce shop. The tactics can be used across the board.
Yes, there's lots of goodies to be learned for sure.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I hope you learned something today, you guys, from the 4 tactics that Jess and I talked about. As a recap, we talked about email marketing. We talked about surprise packs and bundle deals. We talked about selling excess inventory to other box owners. And we talked about the secret subscriber sale. So
fancy.
We're so interested to hear if you are going to try any of these tactics. You can DM either one of us and ask us questions about it. I'm at Subscription Box Bootcamp, and Jess, you're at
Jessica_Principe.
Perfect. We'll make sure to keep that in the show notes as well. I hope you enjoyed my little chat with Jess and that you are thinking about how you can offload your own excess inventory and get that cash flow moving again, girl.
Yes. Thanks for having me. This was so much fun. I really hope that it inspires you to take some action and make some money.
Yes. Thanks as always for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.